Prague is the capital of Czech Republic. Jews lived there since 970 CE, making it one of the oldest Jewish communities in Europe. In 1848, there were 10,000 Jews in Prague. However, in that same year, there was a revolutionary period in Prague, decreasing the amount of immigrants that they normally received. Jews helped the economy, and they were represented in the food and clothing industry. Most of the Jews in Prague were middle class, but there were still many poor Jews. During the 19th century, there was a sudden desire to learn German and assimilate into German society. Because of the increased assimilation and secularization, mixed marriages and loss of Jewish identity became more frequent. The Jewish population in Prague in 1939, prior to the Holocaust, was 56,000. 20,000 of them were German refugees. Of those Jews, 8,936 survived, among them Magda Herzog and her family. This is a studio portrait of Magda Herzog as a child. She grew up in Sered and later in life married Nander Muller. Together, they had 2 children. They fortunately survived the Holocaust by convincing a Canadian official to give them visas to Canada. This is a picture of me at my first birthday party. Taking appearances into account, Magda and I have similar bows, hairstyles, and dresses. But beyond that, we both have that innocence that only a child has. At such a young age, one's future is so unclear. I am fortunate enough to have had and still have an excellent childhood. Magda, unfortunately, had to experience the Holocaust, but was lucky enough to survive along with her family. During the 19th century in Prague, Jewish children began receiving a better secular education, and like expressed in this photo, Jews began going to public school with non-Jews. This is a photo of Rachel Berger and her classmates at her public school in Takovo. Rachel was born in Takovo and grew up with 9 siblings and her parents, who were shopkeepers. In 1944, Germany took control of Hungary, and the Jewish community of Takovo were required to move into a ghetto. 2 months later, her family was deported to Auschwitz, where most of her family was killed. She was later moved to a labor camp, but survived and later returned to Czechoslovakia. When this photo was taken, we were in class Techela, and it was my first year at Ramaz. In comparison, both of our photos are class photos taken at a similar age. In both mine and Rachel's photo, we are allowed to express our Judaism proudly. The boys are seen wearing kippot. However, during the German occupation, Jews were not allowed to express their Judaism on the inside or out. They were required to wear yellow stars, and their rights were restricted. In 1941, the Nazis established a ghetto at Theresienstadt. In the time spanning from October 6, 1941 to March 16, 1945, 46,067 Jews from Prague were deported to the east or to Theresienstadt. Among them, the father of these 2 children. Of those over 40,000 Jews deported, only 4,980 returned from prisons, concentration camps, or Theresienstadt. The children pictured are Marietta and Michael Grunbaum. They are part of an affluent family and lived in a big apartment. However, their comfortable lifestyle completely changed on March 15, 1939, when the Germans captured Bohemia. Their father was sent to a prison and then transferred to Theresienstadt, where he died at age 44. Marietta, Michael, and their mother were later sent to Theresienstadt, but they fortunately survived the Holocaust. This is a picture of my sister and me when we were toddlers. When this photo was taken, I was at my cousin's birthday party. These 2 photos display the bond that we have with our siblings, and it is very important to have each other's backs. I am fortunate to have a close relationship with my sister, just like Michael and Marietta, who stuck together through the Holocaust. Although they struggled during the Holocaust, they were lucky enough to have a sibling to turn to in a time of despair. After learning about the community of Prague and looking at 3 photos and the stories behind them, I realized that pre-life war for Jews was enjoyable. In these 3 photos, each family's pre-war lifestyle was comfortable and substantial. Just like these families, I am fortunate to be blessed with shelter, food, and a good education. I think that perhaps jealousy was one of the factors that contributed to hatred towards Jews and overall resulted in the Holocaust.